Luke, the beloved physician, wrote more of the New Testament than anyone. Through his two treatises to his friend Theophilus, this Gospel and the book of Acts, we discover a man of culture and learning. Dr. Luke, however, never used his own name in any of his writings. Luke is recognized as a careful historian. He tells us his purpose, to set forth in a systematic way an account of the Lord. He alone of the four writers places Christ's life in historical context. See Luke 2, 1-3. When he used round numbers, he qualified them by adding the word about. Not surprising is his interest in medical issues. He speaks of a great fever, of a man being full of leprosy, and of a woman bent over who could in no way raise herself up. When Jesus talks about a needle's eye, only Luke uses the specialized word for a surgeon's needle. What are distinctives of Luke's gospel? Almost 60% of the book is unique to Luke, with 17 parables and 6 miracles that only he records. Special emphasis is given to children. The birth of John the Baptist and the Lord are given in detail. Our only glimpse of the Lord's childhood is given by Luke. Jesus calls the children to him in spite of his disciples in Luke 18, and mention is made of those who were only children to their parents in Luke chapters 7, 8, and 9. And there's an emphasis on the women in the Lord's life: Elizabeth, the Virgin Mary, Anna, the widow of Nain, Mary and Martha of Bethany, the sinner of Luke 7, Mary Magdalene, those who financially ministered to him, and the weeping daughters of Jerusalem. Angels also receive mention no less than 23 times in the Gospel. 6 references to prayers of the Lord are here, not mentioned in any other Gospel. The first and last prayers of the Lord on the cross are recorded only here. Also, we see the Lord giving instructions to his disciples about prayer in chapter 11, and teaching them to pray always in chapter 18, verse 1. It's also a book of praise. Only Luke records that 5 early hymns of praise in chapters 1 and 2. There are many rich areas of study, but don't miss Luke's focus: God's ideal man. Note of his courage facing those who wished to stone him at Nazareth, his refusal to flee when threatened by Herod, his resoluteness in going to the cross. Not only was he a sterling example of courageous manliness, he also is the most compassionate man who ever lived. He began his ministry proclaiming that he came to heal the brokenhearted and set at liberty the bruised. He showed pity for outcasts and the impure. He praises Samaritans and comforted the dying thief. He called little children to himself. Looking over the crowds, he was moved with compassion. Luke 9:51 is the pivot of the book. When the time had come for him to be received up, he steadfastly set his face to go to Jerusalem. Before this verse, he is the coming one. After this verse, he is going to Jerusalem, to Calvary, and ultimately, now as a real man, going back to his Father in heaven, taking humanity all the way to sit on the throne of God. And that's our scripture snapshot of the book of Luke.